Hi everyone. In today's session, we'll look into Async scope, which is one of the scopes offered by MuleSoft. Um, so, what is Async scope, right? So, the Async scope is a branch processing block that executes simultaneously with the main flow. Async scope can be useful for executing time-consuming operations that do not require you to send a response back to the initiating flow. So for example, you might be having a flow, right? Your API might be called by some front end, and the backend could be a DB or anything which will consume a lot of time when you post some data to it, right? So in that case, um, there could be scenarios where in case of batch processing, right, when you receive data from a front end, the front end system might not be requiring any kind of response, right? So um, in that kind of scenarios, we can use this async scope, right, to just send a response, a sample response. Like say, once you receive a data, you can just publish back to the front end, whoever is consuming your API, as a request received, so that they don't need to wait and for the response, until the API calls gets access or not, right? And the limitations of a scope are it cannot be called by a flow reference. It is not reusable, and most importantly, it does not inherit the exception strategy of the main flow, and it does not pass back data to the main flow also, right? We'll just look into a demo by going to Studio. Okay, I'm going to Studio. Let me open a project. I'm going to create a new flow. Dragging and dropping a listener. I'll give the path as async. And then I'll just use a logger, two loggers, okay, front and the back. So here I'll mention as starting main flow, okay. Here I'm just mentioning as stopping main flow, okay. And let's try to write some create a file, okay, data into a file. I'll just use a write operation here, okay, and I'll just use my local path. So if you see, this is an empty folder. I'm just copying this and putting it here, and I can just mention the file name as async.txt. Okay, I'm just saving it. So now this, I'm just going to explain about synchronous flow. Okay, I'm just going to run this. Let's wait till it gets deployed. All right, my application has got deployed. I'm just going to my Postman and trying to post something. Okay, I'm just hitting a transaction from Postman, and you see it's starting main flow, and both the loggers got printed. Starting main flow, stopping main flow. Now I'm going to see if any file got created or not. You can see the timestamp. It's timestamp. It is 5:18 p.m. It's the same thing in my machine also. We just created, and if I just open, you see this, right? The data whatever we posted from Postman, it got uh, created in a file. Okay. So now this is a synchronous flow, right? So it just ran in a single thread, right? Now coming to async flow. So mainly async flow is if I keep async flow in this main flow, right? So what will happen? my main flow does not wait for the components or the processors inside the async scope to get completed, right? Both will be a separate thread. My async scope, whatever processes I am going to keep inside async scope, it will be going to run as in a separate thread as to the main flow thread. Okay. So now we'll look into that scenario as well. Okay. I'm going to stop it for now. Application from core module. I'm going to drag and drop async scope here. Okay. I'm going to put this write operation into this async scope. I'm going to keep a transfer message. Okay, just to show you I'm going to delay it. Okay, delay the creation of the file so that it will be easier for to understand, right? So I'm going to just write a payload, and I'm going to apply some wait time as 30,000. I mean 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 seconds. Okay. I'm going to import the runtime module. Okay. Let me check if it's the correct one. The package name. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is a wait time of 30 seconds that I have set just to for demonstration purpose. Okay, delaying the file creation. I'm going to save it. So to make it more easier to understand, I'm going to drag and drop a logger here. Okay. Here, let's say inside async scope. Okay. Correct. Now if you see, it has only name and age, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write operation, and instead of overwriting, I'm going to put append. Okay. Now let's run this application. Let's wait till it gets deployed. All right, my application are deployed. Okay. I'm going to, okay, I'm just clearing the console. Okay. So that it will be easier for me to show you. Postman hitting a transaction. Okay. As you could see, it got started when both the loggers got printed, right? Starting and main flow, starting and stopping. But this logger did not get printed. Okay, even if you go here, it's still not appended, right? It's still not appended. Why? Because we have kept 30 seconds of wait time, right? Inside the async flow. Now, if you notice, async flow logger gets printed, right? Similarly, the file also get appended with the payload, right? So that's what I'm saying. This async flow, whatever I am process contained in this async flow, will run as a separate thread, right? And the main flow thread will not depend on the completion of the process inside the async flow, right? And this becomes useful if you are having some file-based integration. Let's say if you are having any SFTP server, who are going to just drop the file and you have a polar here, right? So instead of listener, if you have a polar here, so it becomes async, right? So your polar will poll for the file. If there is a file, it will just pick the file and process it for the next subsequent layers, right? So that time this async scope comes handy, right? So that it will avoid sending so SFTP servers does not require any acknowledgement response, right? So this kind of scenario, this async scope will become handy. Okay, right. If you like this video, please subscribe. Until next time, thank you.